podcasting trends in 2017 and beyond on today's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by FreshBooks. Accounting and bookkeeping mistakes destroy thousands of small businesses every single day. Bookkeeping doesn't have to be hard. Turn to the #1 invoicing software for small businesses. Start for free today at servenomaster.com/FreshBooks.
Are you tired of dealing with your boss? Do you feel underpaid and underappreciated? If you want to make it online, fire your boss and start living your retirement dreams now, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Serve No Master Podcast, where you'll learn how to open new revenue streams and make money while you sleep. Presented live from a tropical island in the South Pacific by best-selling author Jonathan Green. Now, here's your host.
I've received a couple of emails lately asking about the state of podcasting and if it's a good market to get into right now. Is it too late? Is it too crowded? It sometimes seems like it's impossible to get noticed. Like there's really only 20 or 30 podcasts that everyone listens to and nothing else gets any attention. And so I want to talk about a couple of the really cool things that have come out through some recent studies and surveys that make podcasting actually really exciting right now and have me really excited about where things are going to go this year. And the first is there have been some really powerful studies on the power of the host and their ability to be a brand influencer. And it turns out, after these extensive studies and kind of the state of the podcasting industry in 2016, 2017, that audiences respond to calls to action from podcasts almost more than any other medium. The response rate is far higher than it is for emails, for blog posts, or for anything else. So if you can connect with your audience when you recommend something, the odds of them checking out are very, very high. So you actually have a lot more credibility. And that's a very powerful thing to know. What's really great about that is it tells you the effectiveness of your messaging. What good is it to have an audience of 1,000 or 1,000,000 people if no one listens to it, no one takes the actions you desire? So having the ability to create responses in your audience is very key to success in any niche you enter, any type of communication medium. The second thing that's exciting is that it's a wide open market. Right now, the number of people quitting podcasting is through the roof. Most people who get into podcasting get into it with a hobbyist mindset, or they don't really have any idea about how to use a podcast as part of a business. So their podcast, it goes well for a little while. You know, they podcast for 6 months or 12 months and their friends listen, they get a couple of audience members, but then they start to get tired. And they get tired because they're not making any money. They don't understand how to monetize it. And so they've gotten stuck. And when something is your hobby, if something is just a hobby, you're not going to push through that hump, that final dip before monetization happens. And so this means that right now is one of the greatest times to enter the market. If you have any idea at all how to structure a business, then you'll have an edge over 99% of podcasters out there. The next key, the third trend in 2017 and beyond is monetization. Podcasts are becoming more and more easy to monetize when you have a bit of strategy. And there's a couple of ways you can kind of generate income. And these are the ways that I recommend. And these are really the best ways to approach it. And the first of them is vocal services. When people hear a voice on podcasts, they go, wow, that guy's got a great voice. I'd love to have him read my audiobook. I'd love to have him do this or that. And so it gets the sound and tone of your voice out there. And as I've talked about in a couple of previous episodes, actually, there's a huge amount of voice work right now. The amount of work for voice actors is going through the roof. It's a market that's really, really growing, and it's a great place to enter. Whether it's reading commercials, whether it's recording audiobooks, whether it's translating books in between languages or translating audio between languages, there's a lot of opportunity there for using your voice. The second big place opportunity for monetization right now is affiliate marketing. Most podcasts, their monetization strategy is built all around advertising. And you don't really start seeing good advertising money until you have a large audience. So it's kind of a catch-22. I don't have the time to spend on my podcast until I'm making money. I won't start making money until I have a big audience. You get caught. But with affiliate marketing, especially when as much as 40 or 50% of people on each episode will actually go to whatever you tell them to check out, will click the call to action, then you can make a really good living getting a percentage of every sale you drive. When someone pays you for advertising, they only do that if they make more money from that ad than they spend on it. That's the math. And that means that if you took that exact same product and wrote it as an affiliate, you would make more money than you do as an ad. So just shifting to this simple business model allows you to start making real money. And of course, most people have no understanding of affiliate marketing. You're very lucky that you have a bit of an understanding. You understand that you can get paid for recommending stuff you already believe in. You can just recommend movies on Amazon and get paid 4 to 8% of every sale and make a living that way. You can say, hey, I like this movie. Here's my link. Please use it. And you'll get paid and you'll make a lot of money from Amazon. So simple. That's the simplest form of affiliate marketing. And the third way to monetize, and this is something that is very easy as well, is consulting. This is really the top of the pyramid. This is where people hear your wisdom. They go, wow, this person's a genius. I just want to hire him to help me. I want to be my coach. I want him to help me. When you have this in place, you can make a very nice living. Consulting is not about being the smartest person in the world. There are plenty of people that are smarter than me. It's simply about being further up the mountain than the person who's looking for help. So just like you look to me and get guidance from me, and maybe you have me coach or consult or mentor you, or you use wisdom from me, there are people further down the mountain from you who can look to you for consulting. And as you work your way up the mountain, your consulting price can go up. And of course, the cost of your time goes up. So maybe right now you charge consulting like $100 for someone to talk to you for 2 hours. But then that price goes up, and pretty soon people can only consult with you if they pay up front for a whole year, and you charge $10,000 for a year and they get to talk to you 1 hour a month. Now you're charging $1,000 an hour. And for the people who can't afford that level, right? So say the person you want to coach you is $1,000 a month. People hire you because you're $300 a month. They can't afford the $1,000 a month coach yet. So it's totally reasonable and it's totally logical to have coaches at different points up the mountain that charge prices that the people behind them can afford. So those are the 3 key ways that you can quickly and easily make money from your podcast. And again, those ways are selling vocal services, kind of using your voice as a tool. You can use your podcast as a demo or resume of your vocal talents, affiliate sales, and then number 3 is consulting. The 4th trend that has me very excited about podcasting this year is that smartphone sales are going through the roof. Right now, computer sales are diminishing. More and more people only communicate via smartphones. Their experience of the internet is purely tablet-based. I was kind of the first generation of people that really grew up on keyboards with computers and kind of learned that method of typing. And now we're having a generation of people, the generation behind millennials, that will possibly lose that skill. They'll be so used to voice command, they'll be so used to just using their phone that they don't know how to use a traditional keyboard. It's not normal for them. They're used to using digital keyboards. The advent of smartphones is good for podcasting because it's one of the best ways to consume. I very rarely listen to a podcast through my computer. As much as I offer that, you can listen to my podcast through my app. I have an iPhone app. I have an Android app. I have a plugin on my website, so you can listen to it on my website app. You can listen to all those places, but most people will consume podcasts through their phone. That's how I consume 99% of the episodes I listen to. I downloaded it into Overcast, which is the app I happen to use. That's the one I personally use right now. And then I listen at my leisure. It allows me to have content in my phone when I want it. My phone's always with me. So this is more and more where people are going to absorb content, and less are people wanting to read on their phone. So if you're, on the subway, if you're driving, you can't always absorb content by reading. And I know for sure that my eyes get tired of looking at computer screens. Sometimes, your eyes are just dried out or they're so tired. And all of those things mean that more and more people will be consuming content via podcast. Podcasting is going up, not down, and it's going to rise right along with all these smartphone sales. Number 5, a new trend that I'm very excited about is live streaming. More and more people are dabbling with live streaming. Of course, there's Periscope, there's Facebook live streaming. But what I'm excited about is that there are more and more services offering pure audio live streaming. A lot of the live streaming I see lately, most people in the live streaming, they're either at a concert or it's fireworks. I can't tell you how many people live stream fireworks lately. Hopefully that trend will go away, because I don't know why you'd ever want to watch that. But I see it all the time. People always, on my Facebook feed, it's like, oh, someone's live streaming these fireworks. I'm like, what? I don't even like watching fireworks on television in HD. Either you're in person or you're not. But the shift to live streaming audio is something that's very interesting. And I'm not sure if I'm going to start doing that myself because of the huge time zone difference. So I would have to start doing it in the middle of the night. But it's something very interesting that is coming into the forefront right now, and it's trending. And I know it's trending because more and more services are offering it. If people weren't doing it, then it wouldn't be offered. So video live streaming has been around, but interestingly enough, a lot of people are actually preferring audio live streaming. Number 6, my 6th podcasting trend of 2017 and beyond is that custom content is king. The great thing about podcasts is that you can choose what you want to listen to. With an interview podcast, I can look at 500 interviews, go, I want to listen to this interview today and that interview tomorrow. You don't have to listen to them in any order. You can skip stuff around. If you try to watch Game of Thrones out of order, it's a nightmare. You can't watch it out of order. It gets so confusing. But with most podcasts, unless you're doing a storytelling podcast, people can consume it in any order they want. People are more and more wanting and demanding content that really fits what they're in the mood for right now. So content customization is becoming kind of the next trend. Content curation was last year. This year, it's all about content customization. People want to read the blog posts that they care about, and they don't want to read about topics they don't care about. They want to do the same thing with their podcast. The great thing about podcasting is that it's already built around the custom content mindset. The platform is already there, which means it's one step ahead of where the market's going. I have the 15 podcasts that I listen to all loaded up into my app. I have this app called Overcast. I tell it the podcasts I like, and it shows me the list of all the episodes from all the different podcasts. And so I can say, oh, I feel like listening to this one today or that one today. And I can kind of jump around quite easily. And it's all handled in a really, really great way. The app is put together very well, and the way I can grab whatever I want and listen to whatever I want to is very simple. So I really love that app, and it allows me to listen to when I'm in the mood. Most of the time, I listen to a comedy podcast or a bad movie podcast, but sometimes one will annoy me and I'll go, hey, let me listen to one about writing. Let me listen to one about advertising. Let me listen to one about podcasting. Let me listen to one about marketing. So I'll jump around to different shows and different episodes. And that's how people are really absorbing content now. People want to feel like what they're listening to or reading was designed just for what they're in the mood for right now. Number 7 is that storytelling is back. We have a long history of the power of storytelling, and the ability to tell a good story is everything. Storytelling is the critical component of all sales letters, all sales videos, all sales materials. It's the key component of every single infomercial. If you want to see great storytelling, watch an infomercial. They do better storytelling than any TV show you could ever watch. And storytelling is coming back through a lot of audio programs. More and more people are listening to short story podcasts, long story podcasts, extended story podcasts. People really want to hear stories, and it's because we're designed that way. If you go as far back as Homer and you read the Odyssey or the Iliad, remember those were originally audio stories. We're kind of genetically designed as people with an oral history. We're used to hearing and telling stories even more than reading or watching them. So for people to be able to listen to your stories, they connect in a real way. A lot of other communication mediums are shrinking, right? Like Twitter is really short, Vine's really short, 7-second video, 140 characters, all that stuff. A lot of other areas of communication are shrinking, but audio communication isn't affected by that. It's kind of like water. Water doesn't compress. You can't squeeze water and make it smaller. And you can't squeeze audio in the same way. What are you going to do? Speed up how fast I talk? Now, some people do that. You maybe listen to me sped up, and that's fine. That's really the only thing you can do. But you can't really squeeze it the way you can with text. If you look at a lot of news blogs, most of their stories are shorter and shorter. They're doing 300 characters, 300 words, because they want you to go to the next page, the next page, the next page. So their storytelling is kind of turning to garbage. The kind of click mindset, the clickbait mindset is antithetical to storytelling, but the market is now bouncing back. People want to hear good stories that they connect with and feel a sense of rapport with. Number 8, and this is my favorite thing about podcasting, is binge consumption. I'm absolutely guilty of this. I can always tell when I have a new listener because I suddenly get downloads in a single day equal to how many episodes I have. So if I suddenly see an extra 100 downloads in a single day, I go, oh, I guess I got a new person who downloaded every single episode. I got a new binge listener. And I do the exact same thing. I'll find a show I like. I go back, I listen to the last 2 episodes, and I go back and listen to their first episode. And then I just work my way forward. I have a show I'm listening to right now that's got about 300 episodes done. It's been around for like 7 or 8 years. And I'm already around episode 130, I think. And I just started listening a couple weeks ago. And that's once you find something you like, you binge listen. And that's why I'm so comfortable putting out a lot of podcast content, because I know that people will then go and listen to episodes. So even if someone finds me in 5, 10, or 20 years, they'll go back and listen to all the old episodes and absorb all that great content. So you get to reuse your content over and over and over again. And that's a really great trend. And that's consistently been how people react to podcasts for a very long time. Now, some people will find a blog and do the same thing, but it's much, much more common with podcasts. And the final trend that's got me excited this year is that Facebook is now doing more and more with Facebook audio. Facebook is the largest platform in the world. You can debate whether or not it's Facebook or Google, doesn't matter. But they're moving into providing audio live streaming. They're moving into providing podcast tools. And that's a sign of something very, very good. Because anytime Facebook moves into a market, you know that the market's already profitable. They don't move into stuff that's not working. So if you're thinking about whether or not podcasting is dead or that the happy days of podcasting are over, they're not. The salad days of podcasting are just beginning, and they're growing in a really amazing way. So if you've ever thought about getting into the podcast game, now is a great time, because every single metric, podcasting is going up. Listenership is up, the number of shows is down, and the profitability is up. If you enter with a show, follow a simple pattern, have a monetization strategy before you start. If you start with a business mindset instead of a this will be fun mindset, you can create something unbelievable. You can enter a market, take over the competition very, very quickly, and grow your business in an awesome way. And so these are the 9 reasons, the 9 trends that have me so excited about where podcasting is going in 2017 and beyond.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Serve No Master. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. We'll be back tomorrow with more tips and tactics on how to escape that rat race. Head over to servenomaster.com/podcasts now for your chance to win a free copy of Jonathan's bestseller, Serve No Master. All you have to do is leave a 5-star review of this podcast. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Serve No Master podcast. Join me on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Serve No Master.